Hello, today we're going to take a look at collaboration in Fluency Now. The collaboration tool built into Fluency Now allows you to work with your colleagues who also use Fluency Now to work on the same document at the same time, which will cut down on the amount of work that you'll personally need to do on this document, and it makes the whole process a lot more efficient. It's pretty quick and easy to get started with collaboration. The first thing that we're going to do is click on the Collaboration tab, which you'll notice is right next to the translation window. On the right-hand side, you'll see there are a couple of different fields. The first field will be your username, and you can enter your online handle or your name. This doesn't really matter. It's just something to identify yourself to your colleagues in the collaboration room. Below that, you'll notice there is a room field. If we click on the drop-down menu, you'll notice that there is a general room as well as a room for a number of different languages. Please note that these are public rooms, so you might see somebody in one of these that's not one of your colleagues. If you'd like a private room, so it's just you and your colleagues, you can actually type your own room name into this field. In this case, I've typed collaboration. These names, these room names, are case sensitive. So in this case, with a capital C, my colleagues would need to enter the word collaboration with a capital C. Once we've filled in the username and the room, click the Connect button. Now on the left-hand side here, you'll see that it has connected successfully. It shows me that Gkita, which is my username, has joined the room, and there's currently one user in this room, which is myself. I have a colleague who is going to also join this room now, and we should see whenever he joins in real time, the information should show up for us on our screen. And there it is, Dan has joined us. The collaboration tool can be used in a few different ways. The most basic use that you'll have for it here is as a chat room so that you can communicate instantaneously with your colleagues. So if I wanted to, I can click in this chat box here. It's kind of a bluish tint field that you see right below the actual chat screen, and I can begin to type. When I enter, you'll see my message appears in the chat field, and Dan has responded. So this just makes it easy to communicate with your colleagues as you're translating in real time. The next option that we have with the collaboration tool is actually the collaboration option. So what we'll do is check the box to enable collaboration, and you'll receive a few different options here. Now, if I want to share my document with my colleagues, I'm going to select the first option that you see here to make myself the master translator and to share my document with others. There are a couple of other options here to make myself a collaborator and request a document from the master translator, or I can just make myself a collaborator and not request a document yet. The other two options that you see here, those are going to be used by my colleagues, by Dan in this case. But for right now, I'm going to select Master Translator and click OK. You can see now that I've been notified that I'm the Master Translator of this document. I'm going to click OK. And you'll notice in the status window here that it shows that I've sent my document to the group. Now, on my colleague side, we can see I've got a notification now. That lets me know that Dan has received the invitation and he's requested a copy of the file from me. So I can allow him to collaborate with me by saying yes, or I can reject that by saying no if I don't want to send him my document. Obviously, we'll say yes in this case. In the status window here, it lets me know a document is being sent to Dan. It says it may take up to 5 minutes, but as you can see, he has already begun collaborating with me. The process is normally very quick to send that document over to your colleagues. And you can see here that Dan has the project and we're ready to go. So what you'll notice is that if Dan changes any of these segments, So we'll have him actually change the first segment here. I'll be notified when the change is made in real time. So if somebody changes a segment that I'm currently on, which in this case would be leaves of grass, it lets me know that they've made a change. It shows me the change that has been made. This is the translated text that he entered. And it actually allows me as the master translator to accept that change or not. In this case, I'll say yes, and the text is updated. Now, if he makes changes, as you see here, to segments that I'm not on, it'll just update instantaneously, as with the second and third segments that have already changed. Now, this is a neat feature because it allows you to take a rather large document, split it up among a couple of different translators, and have each of them take one segment of that document, or one section of that document, rather. So if I have the first half of the document and I assign Dan the second half, I can work on my section, he can work on his, and when we're both done, we'll have this completed document. And each of us has only had to do half of the document. So again, it saves time and it makes things a little bit more efficient. One thing to keep in mind is, as the master translator, it's going to be your job to save the document when you're finished. Since I'm sharing my document with him through Fluency, the document hasn't actually been saved on his computer. It's only open and running through Fluency, which means he won't have access to actually save my file. This is a security feature so that others don't have to actually have your document, but they can actually work on it with you. That said, there is an option to send your file to your colleague. So if I want to send my original document to Dan and have him work on a portion of it by himself, maybe we don't have time to do an actual real-time collaboration and I want him to work on a specific section, there's a send file option located at the bottom of the collaboration window. To use this, all I have to do is type in the username of the person I'd like to send my file to, and then click on the Send File button. It'll open up an open window, so I can locate on my computer where the document is, select it, and send it to him. Now you'll see that I'm sending the document now. Dan will receive notification on his end so that he can accept that, and it will allow him to select a save location on his computer. As you can see, he's received the document already, he's saved it, and he's ready to go. He can now open that on his copy of Fluency and get started on the translation. Once you're done, all you need to do is click the disconnect button and you'll no longer be collaborating with other translators. This terminates that connection to the collaboration server, and you're now working offline.